Hi, this is Jack Downs with a review of the voiceover music bed assignment. Some people will call this a sound donut we're going to make. We're going to add music to your PSA. Here's the instructions you could have received in class, or you find them here on Brightspace. So please read them through thoroughly. Yes, you're going to make folders. You're going to need your own PSA, your original PSA. Ideally, you saved a WAV file. Okay. If you didn't and all you have is an MP3, honestly, I probably won't notice. But just know that you should generally be editing WAV files because they're bigger, fuller, have more information in them. Did I tell you in your feedback from the PSA assignment that you should make some changes or improvements? You should do that first. Go look back at that assignment. Okay, so let's assume you've got your improved WAV file. Or you went and redid some of it and fixed it up, or at least you have a WAV file. So go ahead and according to the instructions, you're going to bring that into Audacity. Also in the instructions it says pick an appropriate song from the supplied CD. Well, yes, I will have CDs available in class, but I don't think you're going to use them anymore because I put all those song files, these song files on Brightspace in our Google Doc download area. So don't worry about that. I think you can just get it through there as usual. You can use envelope editing. We make transitions of 1.1 to 1.5 seconds, and we will be adding the link to this. We're going to cut it, and then we're going to save it and render, mix, and normalize, and all that stuff. Yes, good. Okay, good. So let's go ahead and take a look. I have my PSA up here. I'm going to play it, but you may not hear it very well through my speakers. You're going to hear yours much better with your phones, right? Wait, anyway, just to remind you.
Be a man, see the doctor. Dead men aren't good providers, fathers, sons. To be a real man, you must live up to your responsibility.
Okay, so I've got that PSA that I made. Good. All right, so what's the big deal? Well, I want to find a piece of music from the supplied music, which you can find if you go to if you went to the drive in a folder called excuse me, CD song files. CD song files. You'll see these. What is there? 16 of them, I believe. 16 tracks. So you can preview these. You can choose one. What are you looking for? You're looking for something that's going to try to match the tone of your PSA. I mean, is it lighthearted or is it serious or so on, as best you can. You're also looking for something that's smooth. It's not going to have lots of changes in percussion or alarming elements which are going to jump out, because you want to make this something that we can hear it with underneath your words easily. Okay, good. So I have found a couple of that I could use, and I put them in my folder. And here they are. I've got my PSA. I chose tracks 6 and 7. I don't know why. I don't remember exactly. Let's take track 6. And I'm going to drag and drop it into my program. Okay, so now I've got my music file and I've got my PSA. So I just play, right?
Be a man, see the doctor. Dead men aren't good providers, fathers.
Honestly, my vocals on my PSA are big enough that we can hear it through there, but still there's too much competition noise between the audio of the music file and my PSA. So what am I going to do? Well, first of all, I know what I'd like to do is I'd like to have the music file start at 0, like no volume, come up over about a second or second and a half, be full volume, and then go down again to a very low level for the duration of the PSA, and then we will have it do the same thing. So we'll have it rise up, full volume, down to a very low volume, then we'll have the PSA run, and then we will have the PSA end, and then we will make it go up and down again. Now, we would never do any fading or anything like that to the PSA. We don't do that to voice, because you have to hear voice. But we do need to get it out of the way a little bit. I'll just take it down the timeline like 15 seconds or something. And I'm actually going to go grab this area here, and I'm going to zoom into it. So I want to be able to see seconds here. I can see 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, and so on, right? There's where my PSA begins. I'm actually going to get rid of a little bit of the beginning sound here too. So what's going on? I need to use a new tool here. Okay, this is the envelope tool. It's shown with the line with a couple of dots, and what's it going to make is going to be lines with dots. My active track is my music track. I select my envelope tool. What happens is when my cursor hovers over this little line here, it makes this triangle thing, right? The envelope tool would allow me to change the volume, essentially it's like gain, of everything. But I don't want to do that. I want to put a point about, a second or a little more along, like right about there. And click. I've made a pivot point. Okay? And I can now click and drag and squeeze down this amplitude. So this is going to be essentially a fade in I've created up to full volume. And it's going to be full volume for about a second. I'm just looking up there at my timeline. By the way, notice that audio, whether it's above or below, all plays at the same time. That's what audio does. It all plays at the same time. I mean, that's the point. As opposed to when we start working with video, which is very, very soon. See, video is different. And then so I made another pivot point there, and finally another pivot point, and I'm going to drag this down. See, I've kind of made the idea when we say sound donut, it's like we cut a donut in half, and this is the ball end, the big end here. Something like that. But we're not going to go down to nothing here. We want to have some sound. How much? Well, you're going to have to listen to yours. And it's going to depend on how much volume you have in your... and I'm going to make so my words start just after the volume has gotten all the way down. Okay? You're going to have to imagine... it's going to depend on your volume of your PSA and what music you chose and so on. So let's go ahead and play this all together now.
Be a man, see the doctor. Dead man.
So I want to be able to hear the music but not have it in any way overwhelm any of the words. And where is that point for you? Well, it's going to vary, and you have to put your headphones on and listen to it carefully. I'm just giving you an example here. And now I'm going to scroll down to the end of the PSA, and guess what? My vocals end right about there. I'm going to put another click in here. And it's hard sometimes to hold these things steady when you do that. You don't want to change it when you click. And then another click around over here, about a second down. I'm looking at my second markers, right? And now I'm going to bring my volume up to full again. Whoops, right to there. Okay. And then I'm going to go down here about another second. If I wasn't zoomed in, this would be much harder to do. And then down here about another second. And bring that all the way down to about nothing over about a second. Each of these is a second to a second and a half. Okay. So I've essentially surged my music up and down again at the end. It kind of gives us a feeling, oh, that's what the music is. Then it almost goes away, but not quite, and so on. Okay, now I could do different things here. I can change back to my regular cursor. I can put my regular cursor right there. I could just zoom out and delete everything to this point right here. Or I could do a edit. Where is it? I could do a trim. I could do a split. Edit audio clip split, which means I've essentially created two tracks, and now I could I could select this track down here and just delete the entire thing. I can zoom out to see my entire project, and you can see what that looks like overall. Really be sure you didn't leave any audio down at the end of the timeline or something like that, because that's going to screw up when you go to render. Because of course now you're going to, you listen to it, make sure you get everything you want, save your project as you go, make sure if you're going to save your project, you should be saving it on your hard drive. These won't let you save it on your flash drive. You should be able to already take this with you when you're done too, in case you needed to redo it or something. So we're going to go tracks, mix and render, which is, oops, sorry, I got to select it all first. Select it all. Tracks, mix and render, which jams it together. And now it is one file which does all that stuff at the same time. Go back to the beginning, it'll say
Be a man, see the doctor.
Okay, so that's how we vary music, the vary volume during a piece, which is something we might use for music over voice or voice over music. And this idea of the envelope tool, the most common use for it is volume. We could do other things with it. You can use something like an envelope tool to change like the left and the right speaker, go back and forth between them, and some other things too. But it's almost always volume is the key thing. We use the envelope tool, and we'll see we have some similar tools when we get to video. So that's the assignment.